But I take the opportunity while the rods are in for the rest of the day to show you the rigs that I'm using on this trip, and really rigs that I use as a starting basis on any French or European adventure I go on. It's exactly the same. I favour a blowback type rig. I'll just run you through it, and it's done me proud over the years on every sort of foreign venue that I've been to. I don't use snowman type blowback rigs like this back in the UK, but I do when I come to these little adventures of ours. First of all, the line, it's a 15-pound fluorocarbon coated mono, so it gives you the option of casting or putting out in your boat. It sinks very well. But this particular lake, there's no snags in it. It goes from 3 foot for 10 foot one end, and there's no weed, anything like that. So I want my line as low down at the bottom as possible. So it's 15-pound fluorocarbon coated mono. Then I've got a length of about 1.5 foot, I suppose, of tungsten tubing. Corda or ESP do really good, heavy, supple, that you can thread the line through tungsten tubing. They're the two best that I've found. There may be other good ones on the market, but they're the two which I've found are the best. A lead clip system, nice heavy lead, 4-ounce lead, because I want to get that bait down to the bottom, no matter how deep it is. I want it to eject the lead as well, but I want to use the weight of that lead, 4-ounce, sometimes it'd be 3-ounce or 5-ounce, but I want to use that weight to set the hook as much as possible. Then I use a length of about a foot, I reckon, of coated semi-stiff braid. I use it a lot for my multi-rigs in the UK, and it's just a perfect hook length because it's not too stiff, it's nice and supple, but it gives that tiny little bit of stiffness, so it just lays it out a little bit on a tight line, whether it's from the boat or you're casting. It just lay it out, but it gives all the movement to be able to go in the fish's mouth. That's why it's about a foot, 12 to 18 inches long. I want it as long as possible because the fish on these venues, they're quite deep bodied, they're bigger fish than the UK generally, and they tend to tip up and move a lot of water. So I don't want a little short rig where it only just picks it up like that, or it doesn't get to pick it up in the right way. I want it to, you know, give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves, that type of thing. So 12 to 18 inches long. I've got a curved shank type hook, a great pattern I've found for using a snowman setup. They're super sharp. This is a barbless version because at Meadow Lake it's the barbless only rule, and you've got to use lead clips with the tubing as well. That's one of the rules. I don't use any sort of any shrink tubing on the end to kick it around. I just use it naked, just like that, tied on with a big ring, so it can move backwards and forwards really easily. And I use about an inch gap of the hair between a 15, or you can use an 18mm bottom bait. This is a Pacific tuna, and I've got a Northern Special normal, not a Northern Special +1, but a Northern Special normal, and that sinks that down on the snowman presentation absolutely perfectly. So the hook lays flat and that's just sitting above. It sinks down really slowly, so the semi-stiffness of the hook link, I just kick it out just a little bit. All three rods that I've baited and put out there, I've tested them beforehand, and that just sinks down absolutely lovely like that. Now, because it's critically balanced, when if it was too light, then I'll trim some off of the pop-up just so it sinks slowly. When them fish are moving about, that'll waft up a little bit, and you might get the reaction where a fish just goes boom and just see something flash between its face, or a bit of food item comes up off the bottom and it goes into it. Also, even if it's feeding off the bottom, where it's critically balanced, it's going to go back further into the mouth, and using that 1 to 1.5 inch hair separation between the hook and the bait, I found that the blowback and the curved shank nature of the rig, it really works really well, and I've had lots of fish from all over Europe using this rig. A couple of bits putty on there just to sink it down, just to keep it flat, and that's about it. That's, you know, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, no bells and whistles with these types of rigs that I use for these types of venues, and it's done me very well in the past, and I'm hoping it's going to do me very well on the 6 nights that we've got left. So there you go, that's the rig that I use.